Hey guys, Harrison One back once again for a brand new video for you, and welcome to episode 3 of the Hamilton Challenge. Round 3 on the calendar is Bahrain, and actually one of my better tracks. Honestly, if you haven't seen episode 2 yet, go watch it. It's a classic. And if there's one thing I'll say about it, for sure, it's that I was not expecting to do what I did at Malaysia, because I'm not particularly good around that track. So yeah. That was a really good episode. This is my setup now for this race. Real quick. Kind of conventional, really. But yeah, here's hoping this works out. Now, I only do one practice one of each of these races before I go in and record it live, and last time I did this, I came in second. I finished 1.6 seconds behind Rosberg, mainly because I damaged my front wing on lap 9, and I just could not get all the power down through the corners, and the lack of downforce did start to hurt a little bit, especially towards the end when my tyres weren't as strong. But if I'm in that position and I'm only 1.6 off the top, then I'm feeling quite good about this one. Hopefully we won't take any damage, we can have a nice clean run, and hopefully me and Rosberg can replicate what happened here for real last season. Hang on, let me just change my view around here real quick. And lights out, and away we go! Chilton got off to a really bad start. So we'll go the long way around it. Round side of Bianchi. It's a bit tight here. Whoa. Kvyat almost takes me off there. We're up into 13th place though. Maldonado's going to give up easy because he's not got the power. Perez and Button are making way. Magnussen round the long way. Okay, we're up to 10th. Okay, we're feeling good here. Oh, a little bit. We scraped tyres, but I think that's about as clean as it's going to get, really. Magnussen there, so we're up into 9th. Next up, Nico Hülkenberg, who in my practice one actually qualified in 4th. Because why the hell not? You know this game works in mysterious ways sometimes. A lot of ERS harvesting down this straight as well. Something I wish could have been automatic. Something I wish it was manually adjusted in this game, because, you know, Codemasters and whatnot.
That was a great overtaking maneuver. You made that look easy.
Wow, got Alonso clean as a whistle there. It's like Hülkenberg's trying to take him on as well towards the final corner. That's a pretty brave place to pass somebody. Got a nice run out of that last corner. Let's see if we can use the fuel here. We've got 2 spare laps of it. Vettel's got a slipstream as well. We're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. And we get both of them. Bottas and Vettel. So already up into 5th place. A bit bumpy on the exit. There's quite a gap now up to Felipe Massa in 4th. It's like, considering Vettel qualified 3rd, looks like he had a really bad start. Just got to see if we can get to Felipe next. Braking for this corner is kind of tricky. The only blessing is the line naturally takes you to the outside of the track, so when you brake and you naturally understeer, it's actually a good thing. Weird how that, but I actually kind of like that corner. Right, where is Felipe? He's 0.9 ahead. My finger actually slipped on the brake pedal for a second there. Luckily I got away with that. I don't think I'm quite close enough for a giraffe. Actually, I think I am, actually. Hey. It's only a minor draft, mind you. Looks like Raikkonen put the brakes on there. Whoa! They take another 2 out. Managed to dive it down the inside there. And it looks like Raikkonen was going very slowly into that apex. So we're up into 3rd. Next up is Daniel Ricciardo. Of course it's Daniel Ricciardo. Because whenever something happens to a Mercedes, Daniel Ricciardo is the one who benefits. That honey badger is a pokey one. Luckily, I've got DRS on my side. And I think we're within a second. This game was also terribly unrealistic because there's no way Ricciardo would normally be keeping up with Rosberg. And we've got DRS and Slipstream and Ricciardo's harvesting. So I thought about it. Bit too far back, I think. Also put a wheel on the curb there, which didn't help my traction coming out of that corner. Because you all know that traction is the flavour of the month when it comes to these F1 games. Oh, the eye gets so much more traction. Yeah, I know. Guys getting a draft here, hang on. That's that for a pass. Yes. Got Daniel Ricciardo, and we got DRS as well. So only 1.9 seconds behind Rosberg. Right, to the big one then. To win the Hamilton Challenge, all you got to do is beat Nico Rosberg. The only problem is Rosberg is pretty much always on pole, so. And Rosberg is clearly, because of his car, a cut above the rest of the AI. I think that kind of goes without saying, really. At least they've made the AI performance a little bit more realistic. It should be Mercedes up the front. No DRS this time, unfortunately. I think we've got a bit of a draft going on, though. Might be trying to set something up for the home straight. Come on now. Yes, that was a nice run. Should we try it now? Let's try it now. Rosberg's harvesting. A little bit wide. Just about keep a wheel on the track, but we got him. And now we'll have DRS down here as well. And we take the lead. Did not think it would take me just 5 laps to put this together. The last time around it took me 8 in the practice run. But then I lost out later on in the race. Now, in Malaysia we found out the difficulty was not passing Rosberg, it was staying ahead of him. We couldn't break off any kind of advantage. Let's see if I can do that this time with a fresh set of option tyres and a front wing that isn't damaged. We'll see if that holds up. Because remember, I'm in next lap on lap 6. Why is Rosberg not behind me if he's got DRS? That just screams dumb. This track is... The thing is, I've always kind of liked Bahrain, despite it being relatively easy. Like, when they extended it and made it the longest track on the calendar, it was really dull, and I didn't like it at all. It's a fair bit nicer as a night race, even though they've got these giant friggin' beam poles everywhere now, so you can see where you're going. It's almost creepy. Right, I gotta put the fuel mix up to 3 now and burn some fuel for this in-lap. That was the fastest lap of the race. Rosberg got broken there. Now 1.2 seconds back. That's a good sign. I've got to hit him where it hurts now. That was a 35.7, my fastest ever lap in a race around Bahrain in this game. Best lap in my practice run was a 35.9. But you know what, the funny thing is, my tyres still feel good. Rosberg's now 2 seconds back. I might just go 7 just to shaft over Rosberg and make him go 8. That would be quite funny, wouldn't it? It would also be quite an unsporting thing to do. It's basically one step away from it being what Alonso did to Hamilton in 2007 in Hungary. No quali lap for you, Lewis. Still 1.4 ahead of Rosberg here. Right, we're going to go in. Alright. In we go. Daniel Ricciardo's going to come through. Looks like going to come out in 3rd. Okay, 4th. 5th. 6th. I see a pattern emerging here. 7th.
You have no more scheduled pit stops, so look after your tyres.
Right, gotta put the hammer down on the outlap now as well. These tyres don't take quite as long to warm up this time around this year, so.
But you're maintaining the gap to the car ahead, so we're very happy. This is good. We think the car behind is running on full revs. He's trying to close the gap.
Got my own little pocket of air as well, which is nice.
You might try and overtake if you make a mistake.
Even though I've got Maldonado behind me. There's Sergio Perez up ahead in 6th. Just want to know how far am I in relation to Rosberg. Because I know he'll be coming in this lap.
Good pace. Carry on with the job you're doing.
2.8 ahead of Perez, so we're taking time out of Perez, which is good.
You're currently matching race pace. Good job.
Right, the field is clear. Whoops.
Fuel management has been excellent this race.
Let's see, Rosberg's coming out of the pits right about now. And we've got him easily. Not even close. I think we may have actually extended our lead by a couple of seconds, which is excellent. Hopefully now we're fast enough to hold on to that advantage. Which is now 3.1 seconds. This could be very Circuit of the Americas all over again. We're just trading a 10th here, a 10th there, back and forth. Back up the hill now. .4 now. The only downside to this strategy is at the end, I suppose on tyres that are a lap fresher than mine. But I've also got more fuel as well, I think. 35.8 was that lap. Need more of that. 3.7 now the gap. It looks like in clear air we're a little bit faster than old Nico. It's kind of like summed up this last little 5-race winning streak that Hamilton's put together. Yes, Singapore, obviously Rosberg wasn't a factor in that one, but, it's a shame. But that's racing for you sometimes, A lot of Hamilton fans will just call that karma. Four seconds now. Just got to not do anything stupid and we'll bring this home by the looks of it. But, imagine what would happen in the championship if basically Hamilton wins in Brazil, Rosberg DNFs. They said then Hamilton goes to Abu Dhabi, he retires, Rosberg wins with double points, and then Rosberg wins the championship by a point. That can still happen, mathematically. Hamilton would have a 49-point lead going into the final round, and a 50-point swing would give Rosberg the championship by a single point. Which, of course, is the reason why many people are calling the double-point rule stupid. I'm not quite so strong on that boat of, double points is dumb, etc., etc. Like, I watch a lot of sport. So for me, it's like, well, it's not the first time a sport has weighted a finale a little bit higher than another place. For example, in track and field, the Diamond League has a double point finale. When it comes to the WTA in tennis, like the ranking events, the majors obviously are weighted higher. So Wimbledon, the Grand Slams are weighted higher. So Wimbledon, the Australian Open, Roland Garros, and the US Open. They're all weighted more, and for good reason. They're the biggest events in tennis, so of course, you get behind that shit. And of course, just about every American sport on the planet has a playoff to end the series. Like, even in motorsport, like the NASCAR's chase for the Sprint Cup, for example. So, it's not like this is a new thing, So, they did it for entertainment purposes, and it's not like the double points on paper would affect too much. Like, only 3 of the last, I think, 20 championships that have changed hands if double points had always been a thing. I think Fernando Alonso would have won in 2012, I think Felipe Massa would have won the world title in 2008, and I can't remember the other one. But, yeah. Because it's now a 25-point system in F1 rather than 10, it means a little bit more now that there's a double-point system. Also, the last race carries 50. It's the gap now, 4.7. Looks like we're going about the same kind of pace now. There was a little bit of a slower lap for me. That was a 36.5. I'm just being a little bit careful, that's all. But yeah, I mean, it will be a shame if Rosberg does win the title that way, because let's be real here, most people don't like the rule, and to be honest, Hamilton's been better than Rosberg this year. I don't think there's a single argument in the book you can tell me that Rosberg deserves it more than Hamilton. And of course, I know deserves is a very subjective term, but when one dude's won 10 races in a season and the other guy's won 4, the fact that the gap is only 24 points is pretty amazing when you think of it like that. And it's a shame because this is without doubt Rosberg's best chance of winning a championship. A year that Hamilton has actually been vulnerable at times, and a season where the breakup of their relationship, as friends, and the deterioration of that did open the door for Rosberg a little bit. Because I've always said Hamilton's at his weakest when he's emotionally unstable. The 2011 season's kind of walking proof of that. And, obviously Hamilton has had the lion's share of the retirements, but the difference is, like I said in the last video, Hamilton's only had about 11 points taken out of him directly from retirements. It's kind of funny how that one turns out in the end. But, for me, it's Hamilton's title to lose now. who'll be our first double world champion to come out of the United Kingdom since Sir Jackie Stewart, which makes you feel like that was such a long time ago. Like you'd think we'd have had a double world champion Brit sooner, you know. And, you know, it's you know, for Hamilton, he has been a little bit lucky on the mechanical front during his later days at McLaren. 2012 was a prime example of a year where, if things went his way, he may have been able to challenge Alonso and Vettel. But then again, 2012 had no dominant car that year, so it's like, well, it's one of those things, you know. I think on paper McLaren had the fastest car that year anyway. And I know the couple of guys on Ask FM were telling me like, oh, but Dre, like if you took the average, like Red Bull were the fastest car by like a whole tenth of a second, and I'm like, a tenth? Really? That's next to nothing. Like, 2012 had no dominant car. But still, that's mainly just Hamilton fans on Ask FM who are just determined to get their points across, thinking like they're always right. And, you know, a lot of them are very, very aggressive and insecure in their fandom of Hamilton to the point where they have to, you know, send abuse. And that's never a nice thing. And, you know, like, if they run out of good things to say, they'll take a shot at Sebastian, thinking that's meant to be some kind of personal insult or something. And that's always annoyed me. It's like, oh, but, you know, you don't think Hamilton's the best, but it's clearly Hamilton. And I was like, blah, 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 blah. And I think half of them are even trolling sometimes. But, you know, whatever helps them sleep at night, I suppose. The true debate for the best driver in F1, I think, is between Vettel and Alonso. I don't think Hamilton's in that discussion yet. It's just, I just find it a little bit ironic that, you know, people are so quick to tell me that Hamilton is way, way better than Rosberg is, but then also criticise Sebastian Vettel for the manner he won his 4 championships in, when Hamilton's doing the same right now in an even more dominant car. Funny that. We F1 fans work in fickle and mysterious ways. Just like football fans do, to be honest. But that's for another video. All I know is, it's like, when it comes to my Ask FM inbox after Abu Dhabi, I think it's like Alien versus Predator. Whoever wins, I lose. My inbox is going to get bombed either way, and it's not going to be pretty. But it happens after every Grand Prix. They like the twats who think there's some kind of conspiracy. Like, fuck off. Seriously, what is wrong with you people? Can't give anybody their true credit for anything. It's got to be a conspiracy. There's got to be some kind of overbearing theme. Mickey Motions. But it's one of those things where it's like, you know, there's got to be a conspiracy. Like, everything's got to have some kind of deeper meaning. Maybe a guy's done this. Maybe a guy's done that. Maybe it means this. It's like Ted Kravitz does that all the time during his Notebook segments. He always thinks there's some kind of conspiracy going on. Enough! Can't we just take something for what it is sometimes? Like, the same shit's happened after Spa, and that was annoying enough as it is. Like Hamilton making the claim that Rosberg did it on purpose, when he has nothing to validate that statement. Other than just, you know, conspiracy. When his own team boss had to shut that down, it's like, well, you know Hamilton done goofed, but hey, it's whatever. That's the story of this season, really, more than anything else. It's Mercedes' dominance and the power struggle within their own team. And even though it's kind of petered out now, it looks like Rosberg's kind of ran out of gas, and it looks like Hamilton's just going to roll with this title now. Probably win 7 straight and win the championship by about 50 points. So how convincing was it really? How close a feud was it really, you know? But, you know, F1 works in funny ways like that sometimes. No matter. Sorry the second half of the race has been so devoid of action. Trust me, it won't be so easy for me next time, because next race is China. And that's not going to be easy at all. But there we go. We take the win. Quite convincingly over Nico in the end. And we go 2-1 up in the Hamilton Challenge. Won by 6.3 seconds in the end. Only guy in the lap who did a lap in the 35s that whole race as well. Very happy with how that one turned out. So yeah, like I said, next time we'll be going to China. And that is gonna suck, because China's probably my worst track of the lot. I suck around China. It's just the worst version of Malaysia in my eyes. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry that, there was a bit of a lack of action in the second half, and, I won a little bit easier than I thought I was going to in the end, but hey, these things happen sometimes. Trust me, they won't all be this way, I promise. Until next time, I've been Harrison101. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Sayonara. Also, it's kind of funny how they're still awkward, even in video game form, isn't it? Sayonara.